Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Clearwater Toyota, and guess what? I have a sporty, spiced up sedan I want to introduce you to. It is that long-standing icon of a compact sedan. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Toyota Corolla, but guess what? This is an all-new grade for 2025. It's known as the Toyota Corolla FX. But before we get into this bright white, sporty style sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. So at a recent auto show, the New York Auto Show, we were able to bring you this all new grade of a Toyota Corolla. Now, a Corolla is pretty iconic, believe it or not, because Toyota has sold millions of them since its introduction in the 1970s. And pretty much today in the modern era, Toyota brings a Corolla at all extremes. They have an LE hybrid, which gets maximum MPGs, but then when you want to let it all hang out and twist and turn through the twisty bits, of course they have the mighty GR Corolla. Well, what about in between? What is available if you want something sporty? You basically have two ways you could go: the Corolla SE and the Corolla XSE. Now I want to focus on the SE because this FX is based off of an SE, but it's got some really special touches and driving dynamics. It actually pays homage to a Corolla from the 1980s. It was known as the Corolla FX16. And that really had a fun driving experience and was very memorable for those that own one. So here's where they bring the Corolla FX to kind of bring some of that extra sportiness. But what I want to find out is it the must-own sporty style sedan? If you want that compact size, if you want bulletproof reliability, and you also want to have a connection to the past. Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into our Corolla FX and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, love the look. They really got the look right, especially with this white one because of all the black accents. Now, the front of the business, you're gonna see that familiar, still very modern Corolla style. LED daytime running lamps, LED headlights. Love the way they kind of stretch the headlight housing like a piece of bubble gum, ABC bubble gum that's been pulled all the way to the center. Working your way down, we have this metallic, it looks like gloss black, but it's actually like a dark gunmetal gray. So this dark metallic gunmetal gray. I do have to zonk it because we do have some fake vent. It would have been nice if they would have put some fog lamps, maybe some functional air curtains, especially on this FX trim, and then we have our driving lights down below that are LED. But really, like I said, with the white and that dark gunmetal gray and the rest of the black accents, it really has a nice sporty style to it. I just wish it was a little bit more of that functionality. So I do have to zonk this fake grille area. But other than that, especially on the lower splitter portion that comes down on the corners, it definitely has a good sporty look. Now, as we come across that large open grille design, they weren't the ones that came up with it, but they really have brought it to the forefront. That crisscross applesauce grille design, fully functional. Love the way they actually have the body color lower splitter here that extends down. Gives it a nice, like I said, aggressive look. And that's kind of hard to do with a Corolla because it is that mundane daily commuter car. Now, the one thing I don't love is the way that they did this step styling. This portion in the center here is just gloss black. Looks good, just not my favorite material. But other than that, really sporty. I just wish they would have done something a little bit more, just a little bit more, to make this unique to the FX trim. Now, as we rise up, you got that Toyota badge. Would have been nice if it was blacked out. So I am gonna zonk that. And then very clean lines. I think that's one of the things, is that even though we're still waiting on a redesign of the Corolla, because just a few years ago they did a refresh, we're waiting on a redesign is because they got the style down pretty darn good, because it's lasting the test of time, whereas the Civic, the Elantra, the Kia K4, those have all been redesigned. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire? This is the best part of the package, are these wheels. Nice satin black with the machined aluminum Y accents, multi-spoke wheel. It's an 18-inch wheel. Tires are gonna be 255 on the width, 40 series on the sidewall, and this does sit a little bit lower than your standard Corolla. So it's got some sportier springs, sportier suspension tuning to give you a more engaging drive. It still is front-wheel drive, so that's how it is. There is no all-wheel drive version of the FX16. Well, I should say FX. FX16, remember, is the car from 1986. But let me know what you think about that wheel. I'm actually really digging the wheel. They did a great job on the wheel on this particular model. Brakes are the same. Everything is going to be the same as the SE, which the SE was already sporty enough as it is. But like I said, this kind of turns it up a little bit more. Now, coming down the side, you are going to get gloss black on your mirror caps. One of my other favorite parts besides the wheels when it comes to the exterior is the roof. Black painted roof, including the shark fin antenna. I love the way they did that. And because this isn't based off an SE trim, you're gonna have your flat black around the window frame openings. I prefer that. Color matched on the door handles. And then you'll notice that nice dark gunmetal metallic black trim, that's that side skirt extension. You could get these in different colors, obviously, but I really feel like with the white, with the dark accents, it really works great. Working our way towards the rear, the other place where you're gonna notice the biggest change is this trunk lid spoiler. This spoiler is specific to the FX. Love the way it's got the end plates on each side, of course. And then you'll also notice that it's almost like a kick-up spoiler. It's not a raised where there's a pedestal style to it. No air going underneath it, only air hitting the back. And look at how far, here's the trunk lid. Look at how far back the rear wing comes from the trunk lid. It's actually pretty aggressive on that extension. Now, you are gonna get LED taillights, which are nice, but on the SE trim and this FX, you're still getting Thomas Edison light bulbs. I can still see Thomas Edison in there on his rocking chair. That's a zonk, that needs to go. I mean, come on, it's 2025 here, people. Let's get full LEDs. I do like the way they blacked out the Corolla badge. I just wish they would do that to the Toyota badge. Why didn't they do that? And then there's no FX badge. So if you're the type of person that you need to have a badge, you're gonna need to go get one custom made, or you could get a tattoo on your arm and you could be like, FX. I know Stephen Flood is all about his tattoos and flexing. So if you ever see him, ask him to see his back. He says that's his best attribute. Kind of weird. Now, as we work our way down, love the way they did this simulated rear diffuser. And then you'll notice the staggered exhaust, stainless steel tips. I like the way they finished that off as well. I think that would have been a nice touch on the FX to make the exhaust tips black. What would it cost? Some paint? Just little things that kind of spice things up even more. But why don't we go ahead? I showed you the outside. Let's go pop the hood and talk about what powers this Corolla FX. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You still got a prop rod. I'm okay with that with this type of vehicle. Underneath the hood, yes, it's a spaghetti mess of tubes, hoses, wires, but this is that tried and true 2-liter inline 4 naturally aspirated engine. 169 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque. The thing that just makes me sad, it's made it to a CVT, and there is no manual option available. If you remember a couple years ago during the pandemic, Toyota had the Apex edition. That was actually available with a manual, which was kind of cool. So 0 to 60, don't race anybody on a skateboard or a Razor scooter because they're gonna beat you. 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, top speed 111 miles an hour. The vehicle does weigh a minimal weight of 3,000 pounds. MPGs is where you're gonna win. 31 in the city, 40 on the highway, and like I said, these 2-liter inline fours that Toyota produces has been around for quite some time now, and they are very reliable. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Toyota Corolla FX. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this is an interesting option from Toyota with the Corolla because I want something sporty. I don't need 300 horsepower because it's going to be my daily commuter. If I want to go fast, I got my C7 ZR1 sitting in the garage, so I could drive that on the weekends. But I definitely want something that's sporty looking, and I like the idea that it pays homage to the past. How much is it? So MSRP, the way this one is optioned, and wait until you see the all-new infotainment system. This is the only one that has it. You're looking at an MSRP of $27,000. Not too shabby in today's market, but let's see what happens when you go FX to the door panels. I do like the two-tone. That marshmallow off-white with the dark black. I know if you have kids, they're probably gonna get their, peanut butter and jelly fingerprints all over it, but tell them to clean up after themselves. How about that? Flat black on the switchgear, flat black on the handle to pull the door close, and you got a little bit of silver trim. Soft touch material on the armrest with the orange contrast stitching. That comes on the FX. And then the door pocket is a little tight. Maybe one Whopper with some extra pickles and a Pepsi to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, that off-white finish with the orange stitching looks good. And then you have the black soft touch up top. Here she is, all new on this FX. This is a 10-inch infotainment system. It is up by 2 inches. Previous was 8 inches if you don't know how to do math. 10 minus 2 is 8. Just saying. It is that sort of iPad style screen. Doesn't block your vision out the windshield, and it is easy to get to. It's just not very cleanly integrated into the dash. But neither was the 8-inch one, so I guess it really doesn't matter. It's got the latest multimedia software. You could pull up all your driving history, and then of course you could add those driver profiles. It does have volume controls, but it's tap. You got to tap. Give it a little tappity tap. Tap, tap, taparoo. No actual knob. But this is better than nothing. This is better than just a screen. I'm going to throw it into reverse. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is it takes up all 10 inches. If you're blessed with 10 inches, you need to use it all of infotainment system screen. So it's nice that it uses all 10 inches. It's just a little grainy, but it's nice and large, so that's good. And then we're right back where we started. You got your integrated AC vents, standard AC controls, but I like the way that you have your temperature and it's got an LED readout, and then of course your blower fan speed. Down below, you are gonna get wireless charging on the FX. This guy right here with the orange stitching is gonna control your CVT. I know, I'm sad as well. You got your different drive modes. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. A little bit of the white, a little bit of gloss black, but the rest is flat black with 2 large cup holders. Same old Toyota key fob. I'm waiting for them to redesign it because guess what? Noah used this on his Arc. Same key fob on his Arc. Nice high armrest, soft text with the orange stitching. Lift it up, you got a 12 volt and a USB-C. And then you have enough room in there. You could put, I would say, 6 Twinkies. Don't push it. Do not go 7 or you're gonna bust cream on yourself and you're gonna look like a big clown. Seats, they're cloth, but they are specific to the FX. There's a little bit of orange stitching. I wish they would have brought the orange a little bit more throughout the seat, but you got some nice bolstering, manual controls for the passenger, manual controls for the driver, and no, silly, there's not a sunroof. But I do like the fact that you get a black headliner. Thank God. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Corolla FX. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Now, you do have your manual seat controls. They're easy to figure out. You could raise the seat, you could adjust the back, and of course it slides. The one thing that's a zonk, I would like some aluminum pedals. Come on. This is sporty FX, man. No aluminum pedals. That makes me sad. But the good news is, just like other Corollas, seats are comfy, lots of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, lots of headroom in here. Leather on the steering wheel, boring on the horn button. Do something different for this FX. But I do like the fact that you have flat black on the switchgear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have that 8-inch digital gauge cluster. Here's your different modes. I promised I would show you: Eco, Normal, and Sport. They keep it simple. And then flanking the gauge cluster, you have the LED fuel and temperature gauge readouts. But of course, in that lower display, you have a cornucopia of different information that you could scroll through. But nicely organized, just like all the other Corollas. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna like zipping and zapping through the twisties in this FX. All right, guys, backseat time in this Corolla FX. And right away, like I said, because it is a compact car, it's not compact in space. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm able to sit up straight just fine. I'm not close to the headliner. Back to the seats, you do have the cloth, and your kids are probably gonna dirty this up. So, like I said, teach them some values, clean up after yourself, respect what you have, take care of what you have. You don't wait until you have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari to take care of it. Take care of whatever you have. That's how you build value. And then the back little command center, you do have 2 USB-Cs, which are nice, but you'll notice that, guess what? I have no pockets. So what that means is when I go to Krispy Kreme and I get my dozen glazed and I have that box, I can't put it in a pocket. I got to hold it on my lap. That's not fun. Not fun at all. But what makes it a little bit more fun is you have a nice, ooh, that's soft as just like a hot Krispy Kreme glazed donut with 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the trunk and see what we can stuff back there, because I want to take you for a spin in this FX. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. Now, you may think that because this is a compact sedan, there's no trunk space. You're wrong. Big things do come in small packages. You have almost 15 cubic feet of space. Look at all the room in there. The rear seats do fold down, 60-40 split. And then here's the other big question. This is a sporty sedan. Does it have a spare? Yes, it does. So you do get a spare, which is nice. Don't have to buy one. Nice when they come with them. It's funny how once upon a time, all cars came with spares. I guess that's progress, but I'm not worried about progress right now. What I'm worried about is on throttle. So let's get behind the wheel and see how this Corolla FX handles the road. All right, guys, we're leaving Clearwater Toyota. We're in this 2025 Corolla FX, new grade, the SE plus some. Right away, I love the comfort of the seats. Obviously, great visibility. You got that new 10-inch infotainment system, very easy to operate, very easy to get to. That's what Toyota really does, is they focus a lot on how everything feels. And that's really where they knock it out of the park. Now with the FX trim, you are getting that sporty style and a little bit sportier suspension tuning. You ready? We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle. You got simulated shifts for the CVT. The only problem is I wish it had a little bit more horsepower. If it had like 200 horsepower, I think it would be a no-brainer. But because it doesn't have that extra oomph to go with the looks, it doesn't match up, right? It looks really sporty, but it doesn't have that extra acceleration. But what it does have when it comes to sportiness is in the handling department with the special tuned suspension, the springs, those 18-inch wheels, they all allow this Corolla FX to handle a lot better and to look a lot better than what you would find on a standard Corolla. Even the SE, which the SE is sporty, this though takes it to another level. Look at the handling, good handling, nice and crisp. And then like I said, you're gonna get amazing MPGs, 31 in the city, 40 on the highway. Seats are so comfortable and supportive, and they actually have a little extra lateral bolstering, which is nice. But you have your simple, straightforward AC controls. It's nice to have the wireless charging. And the price point, $27,000. I mean, not a lot of cars out there anymore for 27 grand. The only thing you cannot do is there's no manual shifting of any type. So you just put it in drive, and that's the way it goes. But other than that, very, very smooth, very controllable. But at the end of the day, it's the MPGs where this thing just lays it down. They did work on the handling and the steering. There is a little bit better feedback, and that's definitely a plus over the other Corollas. But let's go on throttle again. On throttle, here we go. It's good that it's got this simulated shifting to keep that RPM drone to a minimum. Going into this right-hand bend, very composed. Not a lot of drama from your baby's mama or from this Corolla FX. And then I want to go on throttle one more time from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. It is a fun car to drive when the road gets twisty. That's really where it's gonna shine. And you're just not gonna see, I promise you that, many of these FXs. I think that it's gonna be probably a 1 year only, maybe 2 years, just like the Apex. Remember the Corolla Apex was back during the pandemic time period. But nice to have the different modes, and definitely nice to have that new 10-inch infotainment system. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of the Corolla FX. We're gonna get back to where it all started. Where did it start? Clearwater Toyota, and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, maybe not a sunny day, but still a great day, a sweaty day. But hey, that's how it is here in Florida. Definitely got to thank everybody here at Clearwater Toyota, especially Chris, getting us access. He helped us track it down, this Corolla FX. It's been like a thorn in my side, but we got it. Now the big question is it the must-have compact sports sedan, the sporty style sedan for the dinero? Let me know down in that comment section. If you're new to the channel though, and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Got to give it up to LGR, Latte Lori. She's pouring the coffees, and she's also working that camera like a master. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.